we go. What is going on, guys? My name is Tubby Emo. We're going to be talking CM Punk, but I'm not alone. Joining me is at SmallzTV. You guys can follow him at SmallzTV. He's the owner-operator, right? Fight Gamers. Yeah, you tell people a little bit about Fight Gamers before we get going, Smalls.
Well, Tubby, first off, I want to thank you for having me on the show to talk a little UFC 203. The Fight Gamers, for all your fight gaming news and all about the fight game. We're covering pro wrestling, MMA, UFC, and then, of course, the occasional fight of the century in boxing will be there as well. Got the WWE 2K, the EA UFC, all that fun stuff. But speaking of UFC, Tubby, what are we here to talk about?
We are talking CM Punk versus Mickey Gall, the guy that up and left the WWE, just took his ball and went home. Said it was not about the money, it was about him, right? You've been talking about, we talked about a little bit on the pre-show about the psychology. So for those people that don't know UFC, let's let your expertise kind of take over. You brought it. Why is this unique to you, the way he's kind of bringing up this fight and everything that's going into it?
Well, CM Punk signed with the UFC almost 2 years ago, 19 months, right? He's been in and out. Sometimes in the spotlight, he had a fight, he had a herniated disc. He came into this, he's just dropping all kinds of social media saying, oh, his weight cut is going terribly. He only had a 2-minute open workout, which for people who don't watch UFC and follow the open workouts, they usually go for about 20 minutes. He did 2 minutes. So he's literally showing no cards. At the press conference, though, Toby, he shook Mickey Gall's hand. They took a couple pictures. It was fine and dandy. But when the weigh-in came in, Punk hit the 170 mark. He hydrated. He was ready to go. There was no shaking hands. I don't know if you can put a picture on the screen. There was no shaking hands. It was a stare down. It was on. And then it was like psychological warfare because I gave you this and now I'm taking it. And Punk is really just trying to be the ultimate underdog in a way, which makes this fight kind of closer than it really is on paper. I want to know from you, the WWE primary fanatic, Tubby Emu, at Tubby Emu. Make sure you follow him on YouTube. You're watching it here. I want to know what you want to know. I want to know who's winning this match.
Honestly, what you just brought up is we don't know what CM Punk is capable of. The only things we have seen is UFC embedded in the documentary from Punk, that he's basically just getting his ass kicked. So we don't know how much he's improved since then, because that was a long time ago. That's like when he was first starting to train.
According to him, yes, that's what he's saying.
So I don't know. I think I'm going to make my prediction right now. I'm going to say CM Punk wins in round 1, and I'm going to say I'm going to say this. Even if he loses, I'm just glad that he's doing whatever the hell he wants to do. This is kind of the trap fans get into with wrestling that only watch wrestling. Is just because wrestling and WWE is the biggest thing on TV. Like it's Monday Night Raw. It's the one show that it's the biggest one in the land, that they think if you're a wrestler, once you get there, by God, you got to stay there and you can't leave. So he left, and I was kind of the build up to the fight. I didn't know if he would open up as much with the wrestling stuff going on right now. And I don't know if you saw his Players Tribune, his write-up. Did you see his write-up about being a wrestler?
I have not.
So he opened up the Players Tribune, and he basically wrote everything. And he said why he left. It was for me, my family. I was sick of waking up and, being on the road all the time, not being able to find healthy food options, like all this. And now he's in UFC. He's like, he comes home, wakes up, walks his dog, does the gimmick, right? That's him. He's training to fight. He's in the same zip code, the same time zone. As somebody that, you've lived in a nice place out in LA. I kind of like to travel around a little bit. Would you want to stay in one spot to train?
Absolutely. If you ask me. However, every fighter is different. There's guys who travel to get sparring. There's people who travel just to get work done, and they're all excellent fighters. However, there's some who just get cabins in Big Bear, be completely isolated, and bring their people and just 100% focus. It's different for everybody.
Would you say, so he's training with Rufus Sport. For those people that don't know, what can he expect, and who else has he been training with? For those people that have never seen UFC, who is he training with down at Rufus Sport?
Great point. It's only 90 minutes from Chicago, so he packed up his stuff. He packed up Larry and AJ Lee. They all got in a car and went up 90 minutes, went to Milwaukee. Rufus Sport, a high-level camp. One of the best MMA camps in the world. Anthony Pettis, former champion, Ben Askren, the ONE FC champion, and arguably the best 170-pound fighter in the world, among others in that gym. And they constantly bring in these killers from other gyms to work with Punk. High-level black belts across the board. Punk is not missing with the training. It's just going to be the experience that's going to cost him in this fight.
And that's what he brought up. He had said in the interview, I could take a beating. I could do this and that. He's like, there's a lot of stuff, mind games that you don't think about that goes into fighting. There's once you're in the cage, he's like, the one thing people are always looking at the hands, you don't notice the feet. And he's like, that was the one thing that took a while to get used to. The feet, you really have to move around. I know for those people that don't know, you actually you train a little bit, right? You do a little sparring here and there. What's your experience for somebody that's never watched UFC? They're going into the CM Punk fight. This is a guy that used to wrestle in a company that's scripted, it's entertainment. Right. What's that training actually like? Is it going to kick your ass? Like, did Punk just get up and leave to go relax in the sun, or is he like legitimately putting in? Is it a hell of a build?
MMA training and professional wrestling training are two completely different things. I can tell you from experience because I've done both for a brief time. This is the biggest mismatch in the history of the UFC on paper. On paper, this is the biggest mismatch. I'll say it again. The biggest mismatch in UFC history. You have a guy who's never stepped in the ring, no amateur experience in MMA, no amateur experience in any form of martial arts or fighting. A guy who barely got the license to fight in the state of Ohio and got compared to Brock Lesnar because, well, they were kind of pro wrestlers and that experience counts as an amateur. Be that as it may, he got the license. Mickey Gall is 2-0, has years of experience, has been fighting and finishing guys. Punk just doesn't have the experience in this fight. Can he shock the world? Absolutely. He could hit him with a haymaker and get on top of him and finish it. It'd be great. I honestly want him to win. I think it would be great, and it would really open up people's eyes that, hey, it's a fight. Anything can happen. However, Mickey Gall's going to go in there. He's going to tee him up. Tough dude, CM Punk. But I think this is a one-round fight, Tubby.
All right, what's the actual prediction? How's it ending then? What's your prediction? If I said CM Punk round one, who wins this one? And how's it going to happen?
This is going to end. They're going to end up going in the middle. Punk's going to be very uncomfortable on the feet. He's going to try and go for a takedown. It'll be stuffed. And I think he's going to get peppered on the feet by Gall. Gall has pretty solid boxing. He's a little stiff, but he's got better stand-up than Punk. He's going to tag him. He's going to hurt him, and I think he's going to get on top of him. Punk will go shoot for a takedown. He'll stuff it. He'll go around him and get a rear naked choke and end the fight in about 4 minutes.
So your prediction is a first-round submission. I will say, based on what we've seen, have you been caught up with all the documentary parts so far going into this fight?
I have, and I know that's old footage, and CM Punk could be playing possum, which he really is. I really think he's messing with Mickey Gall a little bit, trying to get Mickey Gall in that Luke Rockhold syndrome, where, for people who don't know, Luke Rockhold had a last-minute replacement. He was the middleweight champion. He totally overlooked this guy and got knocked out in the first round by Michael Bisping. Just totally, chin out and boom. That's what Punk is trying to do with Mickey Gall. He's trying to get this guy's guard so down that he puts his chin out there, and Punk lands an uppercut and a left hook, something tough, a good solid shot. And Punk is a big boy, but looking at the pictures, you can tell Mickey Gall is definitely the bigger man who could take Punk's shot. So really, the puncher's chance isn't there from what I see. Tubby, what do you think?
Honestly, I'm going to say this. As the biggest, he's talking about the lawsuit, everything leading up to this fight. He's talking about he's getting bankrolled. It's stressing him out. He's dealing with all this stuff. I think somebody asked him, "Do you think the brass is going to watch from WWE?" And they're like, "Nah." Everybody said they weren't MMA fans. I think he does. Do you think he does anything to kind of signal home to the WWE? Do you think he's gonna imitate anybody? Do you think he's gonna? Yeah, I think if he loses, if he knows he's about to lose, it would be the greatest thing in the world if he just hulks up, crotch chops Mickey Gall, Triple H style, because he was supposed to face him at WrestleMania. Maybe this is setting up WrestleMania 33, the crotch chop at UFC, the ultimate crossover, and he finally gets his main event against Triple H. I think that he's gonna get rocked. I think I brought up that the training footage from the documentary, because it seems like he does not know how to defend takedowns from everything they showed in the documentary. It's like he's going to get taken down. if he gets in this fight, you had said submission. Do you see any form of like complete knockout where Punk is just KO'd? He's Manny Pacquiao on the ground. It's it.
Oof. Man, you know what? Punk's a tough dude, man. Punk's a real tough dude, and I don't think he's gonna get slept by a shot to the chin. I think he'll get choked out if anything. Especially with Mickey Gall, he's not really a put you to sleep kind of guy. I'm gonna drop you and get on top of you and finish you kind of guy. So Punk could scramble, he'll protect, and that's why I think Mickey will go for the submission. But Punk's playing these mind games, and I really wouldn't be surprised if he pulled it off with a Hail Mary. I wouldn't be surprised, but the good money is on Mickey Gall by first round.
So now, is there any chance that this fight goes the distance and CM Punk wins his first fight by decision, so then people will complain and say, wow, the judges kind of gave it to him? Are we going to get any sort of undecisive victory so they lead possibly a rematch? For those people that don't follow UFC, rematches can happen. Would we ever see these guys? Is there a scenario that these two fight again and CM Punk isn't just a one and done?
I don't think they'll ever fight again, regardless of the result. This is just an intro fight. Mickey Gall is really just the opponent. He's just the guy, right place at the right time. He used his mic time after his victory over, I believe his name was Mike Jordan. He called out CM Punk right away in his TV time, which
and Dana was there.
Do.
And wasn't Dana at that fight for the looking for the fight thing in the documentary for Dana White's series?
That is correct. That is correct, and that's how you get it. You got to ask for it. All these fighters, they get interviewed and they say, oh, whatever they put in front of me. Okay, well, if you don't care, the audience isn't going to care. So with Mickey Gall calling out CM Punk, people care. There was a guy there. There was an opponent. There was a target, and it made a fight. And here we go. I mean, it's the third fight. It's the fight before the co-main event. So it's up there on the card. This is really like Punk's drawing power is really up in the air because they put him third on the fight. He's not main eventing a show, so they're probably just testing his pay-per-view draw after this stint.
Do you think he's a draw? Is he going to be able to draw right now? I think for those who don't know, Dave Meltzer tweeted out and he said anything over 350 would be a godsend, and 350,000 pay-per-view buys, and that would show Punk has something. Everybody's saying Stapes, the draw, the main event for the heavyweight, and Punk's really just there. Yep. He said in the one interview, which I really loved, he said, people are just saying I'm taking this away from the UFC, that I'm taking away an opportunity from a fighter, I'm doing this. And then he brought up, I gave Mickey Gall an opportunity. There wouldn't be a Mickey Gall right now in the UFC if it wasn't for CM Punk. Correct. So I think for any of the haters, I just want to say this, for the people that are the ones that are CM Punk fans and they want to see him get his ass knocked out, he's done a lot. I mean, this is a guy that lost his opportunity. He walked away from the WWE, and he got himself a payday. Mm-hmm. This man got himself a payday with something he put his mind to. The one thing I wanted to say in this fight is CM Punk. Is there any shot at all that he just, if he wins the fight, is it going to be via a submission? Like as you said, we don't know his game. Like we haven't seen much of it.
It will be via submission. He's most comfortable on the ground. He's probably worked mostly on the ground. And his offense will probably be leading to the takedown, like a Damian Maia sort of offense. Just stand up just long enough to get him down and work him. If Punk gets him down, hey,
anything's possible.
We're going to see what's up with 2 years of training. If he's probably a blue belt, if not better. We really don't know. He's the man of mystery when it comes to mixed martial arts, which he wants to be.
So now he had said he had a little bit of a background in jiu-jitsu. For those people that don't watch UFC, what kind of fight style do you think CM Punk is going to bring out?
He's going to do jiu-jitsu style. He's most comfortable on the ground. He's been training jiu-jitsu the longest. Trained with the Gracies for a long time. Training with Rufus Sport. He loves the ground. And like I said before, he's going to be long enough on the feet to go for the takedowns. Takedowns take a lot of energy. And if they constantly get stuffed, the more tired you're going to get. And that's how we're going to get to that finish in 4 minutes in the first round, Tubby. It's just going to happen. I'm sorry to tell you. I love Punk. I think it's great, and I think it's poetic that the arena that he storms out of, right, the Q in Cleveland, Ohio, is the same arena he's storming back in for his UFC debut. You couldn't write a better story, and this is the first time, Tubby, that they're in the Q. It's unbelievable.
And we have a hometown fighter, don't we? Main event?
Main event is Stipe Miocic. He's the world heavyweight champion. He's from Cleveland. He's a hardworking, blue-collar guy. Great guy, but he's facing Alistair Overeem, the man who put Brock into his retirement before he came back.
Yeah,
that man, that deadly kickboxer. It's going to be a hell of a fight. A hell of a fight. I want Stipe to win. I'm picking Stipe to win. I don't know if people on here, your crowd, Tubby, the Tubby Nation watches ESPN. They're pushing this guy like Roman Reigns on ESPN, Tubby. They got this guy at the community centers. They got him at the Indians games, at the Browns practice. He's on ESPN, on First Take, on Sports Nation, on His and Hers Sports Center. I mean, he's really doing Conor McGregor stuff, which is a double-edged sword. So we could see, because that takes away from training and sleep. Yeah. You know, I want my homeboy to win. The guy hits like a mule. So it's going to be amazing. And Ronda Rousey's boyfriend, Travis Brown, is the co-main event. So there you go. Why not watch it?
You brought up Alistair Overeem. He did beat Brock Lesnar's last fight. It's actually a fight I watch. It's one of the ones I actually watched live of Brock Lesnar. Now, people thinking Brock coming into UFC wasn't possible. Did Brock's wrestling background elevate him more for success versus CM Punk as only being wrestling?
Well, that's the difference, right? That's the difference, right, Tubby? Is that Brock Lesnar was an animal and a world-class athlete, collegiate wrestler, 4-year All-American, a stud with a base. You know, he could have probably won a gold medal, heavyweight gold medal, 2 of them, if he didn't go to the WWE. That's his base. Also, he had a fight before he joined the UFC. Huge difference. This guy fought K1 Dynamite. This was at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. And he beat up Min Soo Kim, beat him in 1 round. He had a fight under his belt. There was footage, there was proof, there was credibility. And that made him bigger. And he was always the bigger draw than CM Punk. 2 years off was going to hurt Punk. And this is why he's in this position. He's not a main eventer. They're really going to see how big of a draw he is. Never main evented at WrestleMania.
Does he have to be? Oh, you're throwing it out there. That's hey, it's true. He never did main event. I think I have to say, after everything we've talked about, I think that the fact that he hasn't shown his game, and like you just brought up, Brock Lesnar had tape. They knew what to expect. The first fight he had, they knew what to expect. Punk, it's a complete wild card. You have no idea what's going to happen. And I'm going to say, I think Punk gets lucky. It's like you said, if he brings him to the ground and randomly catches him, I think the footage that we've seen of Punk so far has made you go, oh, God, he's got no chance in hell. But then everything he's doing, the way he's talking, the way he's, like you said, he's not shaking his hand, he's getting his head. And Mickey Gall, the one thing I loved the most was Mickey Gall just pats him on the back as he walks away like attaboy. Oh. He it was perfect.
So good job, good effort, pat on the back.
Does he do that to end the fight? When he beats him, first round submission, does Mickey Gall walk over there? What happens after the fight? Does Punk trash talk?
Handshake. If your boy Punk wins, he's going to do the double tap on the shoulder with him. He's probably going to laugh in everybody's face and say, I told you so. F off, F you, Vince, whatever. Stockton, Chicago. That's how we do it. And
does he call anybody out?
The next fight will be probably January. Every January they do a fight in Chicago. So he probably will be on the January Chicago card, I'm assuming.
Win or loss?
Co-main event.
Win or loss? Or does he need a win to get up there? He's got to win to get up there.
He's got to win to get up there. It's okay to lose, but he can't lose twice. He gets one more after this. He's going to have 2 fights. He'll be on that January card, but it depends on what slot he'll be on.
All right, post-fight. If he does win, like you said, he might call out whoever, he might do whatever. Does he call out his opponent, or does he just wait for UFC to place him? Do you think he's got people in mind that he'd want to fight? Like you said, he's been waiting 19 months for this. Mickey Gall's number 1. Does he have anybody in mind, or is he just like happy to get it over with and move on to the next step?
Well, really, let's take a step back, and I'll look at his division, and I'll send you a shot of the division if you want to put it up on the screen right now. There's nobodies. Tyron Woodley's the champion. Nobody cares. Robbie Lawler's the number 1 contender. Can't really draw a hell of a fighter. Wonderboy Thompson, nobody knows. Matt Brown, nobody knows. CM Punk is the A side against everyone, and the A side means the money side, the draw. He's the money side, the A side, on everybody in that division, sans Conor McGregor. Yeah. Conor McGregor is not going to fight at 170 anymore. He's going to go back to lightweight and hopefully not 45. Lightweight champion in his future. CM Punk is the draw. He doesn't have to talk about nothing. Like you said, Tubby, who was Mickey Gall before CM Punk? End of story. Y'all got to talk. Everybody's going to call out CM Punk. I'm looking at Donald Cerrone when he fights in Madison Square Garden in November. He's going to call out CM Punk.
Did you see?
Buddies.
Speaking of that, did you see what Dana posted today regarding Cerrone?
Yeah, he's not fighting Robbie Lawler anymore. That's what I'm saying. He's gonna have an opponent though. He's still gonna stay on the card.
No.
Darn shame.
No, today he had tweeted this out. Dana White tweeted out 16 hours ago. Who is better and crazier and more badass than Cowboy Cerrone? He sends him a tweet this morning at 12:56 and says, "Not sure if you're still up, but I'm in town and I'll fight whoever he was supposed to fight tomorrow. I'm here and ready if you need an ace in the hole." That mindset. Are we ever going to see a guy like Cowboy step up against Punk, or is that too big of a fight for him?
Cowboy versus Punk, Cowboy kills him.
Just absolutely destroys him.
His skills are on another level, especially when he's on 170. He's not brittle. He's fully hydrated. He's eaten. He's just a stronger competitor at 170. I really don't think they'll fight. I think saying Donald Cerrone will come on as a stretch. Looking back on it, they're buddies. They actually train together a little bit. They worked out a little bit in NorCal and in Colorado. So not going to happen. However, Donald Cerrone is an animal. He'll take on all comers. Is it hard to find a guy like that? Yeah, because everybody doesn't want to take damage, and they want to get paid the most. They want to get paid the most amount of money against the easiest fighter in the largest arena, essentially. They want the biggest paycheck with the easiest opponent in the largest arena, something like that.
How much do you think? How much do you think Punk's getting paid for this fight? How much do you think Punk is going to get? And what do you think his win bonus is going to be? And is there any shot he wins one of the fight awards? Submission. If Mickey Gall submits him, I don't remember bonuses. Do they both get it or just Mickey?
Submission of the night and knockout of the night is just they're not their performance bonuses.
Yeah.
So they go to the one. But if it's fight of the night, both get it. If this fight goes into the second round and they're just dog fighting it, and then Punk goes out like a G on his shield, that's fight of the night. And man, I think that's all people want. If Punk goes out like a G, like imagine if Punk won the first 2 rounds. Like he came out with an amazing game plan, was just playing defense impossible the whole time. They just picked him off, jab, and got a takedown at the very end. And he's up 2 rounds. And then there's a minute to go in the third. He's almost there, and then he gets caught, submitted, or knocked out. Completely different than him getting dropped like Jose Aldo against Conor McGregor in 13 seconds. Either way, it's a win-win. And once again, I know I'm being a little hard on Punk. CM Punk, you're a fucking G. You're doing your dreams. People are living vicariously through you. And you're going to be, the third person ever to do professional wrestling and a mixed martial arts fight behind Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. So kudos to you, man. Win, lose, or draw.
Going that way, we can include Ken Shamrock on that list, can we not?
Oh, that's correct.
I was going to say, you're going to see...
Dan Severn. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Dan Severn. Boss Rutan, didn't he do a little pro wrestling as well? Kevin Randleman.
Oh, man, Boss Rutan. First saw him in, not first saw him, obviously fighting in the Kevin James movie, where he was up on there, and I listened to Boss and Morrow a little bit. Last thing, so if CM Punk goes out there, like you said, he wins, doesn't win, who would he look for in the next fighter? Like you said, Mickey Gall was a nobody. He put Mickey Gall on the map. He's helped elevating him. He's kind of building a star in his own, right? I thought he kind of looked like Sage Northcutt. It's a young cat. He's just getting started. Mickey Gall could be that, building his way up. Put him on. Who does CM Punk then possibly go on to? Who would be the next, in your opinion, is the guy that covers MMA, that fights? Who would CM Punk's next possible opponent be? Is it a big name, or is it just to try to get him a win?
It's definitely not going to be a big name, Tubby, because at the end of the day, he's going to be 1-0 if he wins.
That's true.
He's still a rookie in the game, and you got to find another guy who's 0-0 and 1-0. What they really should do is have an Ultimate Fighter with welterweights, and have like guys like that, and then you just like the winner fights CM Punk. Or like I don't know, they're doing that with the Ultimate Fighter this year. They ran out of opponents for Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, the UFC flyweight champion and the #1 fighter in the world. He has a Twitch, by the way. It's awesome, Mighty Mouse 125. So they're holding a tournament with 16 champions everywhere else. It's kind of like the Cruiserweight Classic. But imagine everybody else was a champion. It was the PWG champion. It was the ROH champion. It was the New Japan champion. It was the ICW champion. And the winner of that tournament is facing the UFC champion or the WWE champion in that other example. They got to do the CM Punk Ultimate Fighter. The ratings are terrible. Have CM Punk be the coach, talk crap to them, and then they're going to have to fight CM Punk. I think it's amazing, Eric. What do you think?
That would be pretty sick because, like you said, Mickey Gall kind of there was a search. It was Dana White's show that found him last time. Like you said, Punk's a money guy. He's gonna draw money for the simple fact that people are gonna pay to watch him get his ass kicked. If you're a CM Punk fan, and hopefully, I think this is the one thing people misjudge with WWE fans though. Are they actually going to pay for the fight, or are they going to try to find the fight? That's one of the things that worries me about his drawing power is they'll probably watch the fight, or they'll probably wait for the highlights just to say they got him. Is there a big portion of people that are going to buy that are WWE fans just to watch him get his ass kicked? Similar to Conor McGregor, right? He talked shit about WWE, went into his fight, beat Diaz, and all that shit talking was like, well, he backed it up finally.
And he has now the biggest UFC pay-per-view number ever. He broke his own record again. It works, people. Talk. If you're a fighter or a wrestler and you're in the entertainment business, you got to get noticed. They're hoping that CM Punk, and by they I mean the UFC, which is owned now by WME and Ari Emanuel, that CM Punk is that Floyd Mayweather theory, that he has that Floyd Mayweather theorem with him attached. Whereas you're going to pay to see him lose, or you're going to pay to see him win. And that's going to happen. Mayweather's never lost, so he's ran that gimmick for over 10 years. Brock Lesnar ran that gimmick when he was the UFC champion. And then he lost it, and then woof, the steam fell out. And now Punk's just got to win. People love winners, and they'll back up winners. And that's it. End of the story. However, Brock lost his first fight. If Punk loses and gets 1 million buys, he'll be a co-main event no matter what. You know what I mean? It's a numbers game. UFC and WWE are so similar in so many ways. The number one contender never fights the champion, and always the guy who's talking the most.
What last thing I want to touch on? Do you think he's going to draw tonight? What do you think the pay-per-view buys are going to be? Because it's not going to be Conor McGregor numbers. It's not going to be anywhere close to that. But what do you think they're going to pull as far as CM Punk? 19-month build. This is what it's all been leading to. What happens at the Q Arena? How many people buy the pay-per-view to watch it?
Well, once again, as you mentioned, Conor McGregor, he is another one of those theories. You're paying win or lose. You're going to keep paying to watch. And he proved it's okay to lose because you come back in the rematch and more people are going to watch the rematch, which happens. Always happens. People always watch the rematch more. Punk and Gall, not going to happen. So it won't be a rematch. Shit, I forgot your question, Tubby. Sorry. What were you saying?
Pay-per-view buys. Total pay-per-view buys. How many do you think they're going to push? Because I want to bring this up because the last time that CM Punk was in a big title match, this is a title match. This is WWE. Okay. They brought in, what did they bring in? They brought, I think, 195, if I remember correctly. So in WWE standards, because people always think WWE is bigger than UFC, which is so far from the truth as far as buys go. 195,000 people watched CM Punk possibly walk away from the WWE to win the title. Is there a bump from that? Is there what's your final prediction on numbers? I'm gonna say they get about 400,000 buys. I think 400,000 buys.
Judging by the trend, I saw what UFC 199 got 350. So tonight they'll definitely get more than that. Looking at the high fours, maybe low fives. Punk is really the wild card in this situation. This is really a hardcore fans kind of card. Looking at it up and down, there's no really big stars. Connor, Ronda, Holly, Misha.
Do you think that's going to hurt him?
Brock.
Is that going to hurt him? Are people going to look at that and say, oh, wow, look, he can't draw? But if you look on the card, like you said, there really is no other big name on there. Fabricio Werdum is kind of been, he hasn't really done
Coming off
much.
A loss.
Yeah, he hasn't really done much. You got Alistar. There is nobody on that card that has that huge name recognition for the most part. So would you put the blame on Punk for this, or would you put the blame, would he have been more successful on a different card?
No, because this is really the card to test him, right? Hometown kid, so that's the local draw. The problem with Brock Lesnar is he's a great pay-per-view draw, but he really doesn't put asses in the stadium, in the arena. He's always been a huge pay-per-view draw. Punk, going to get that pay-per-view draw. Stipe is bringing in his hometown fans. It's great. The stadium is right in the middle of hard work in Cleveland. Yes, it will sit on Punk's shoulders because they really want Stipe to be a well-known fighter. He's a good-looking kid. They're using Punk to elevate Stipe. He's the heavyweight champion. The heavyweight championship in fighting is even in WWE. You're the heavyweight champion. It's its own title. That's always been recognized, that you're the baddest man on the planet in what you're doing. You're the heavyweight champion. You're the biggest and you're the baddest. And that's what they want to do with Stipe. End of story. So yeah, Punk, got to do it, buddy. You got to get him over 350, and I think he will.
All right, getting over 350. First round submission for Mickey Gall for you. I'm going to say CM Punk pulls out a victory. I didn't say how he would pull out the victory. I said a first round. I'm going to say he's going to catch him, and Gall's going down lights out. Not a KO. He's just going to get on. And I think Punk might hesitate. I think this is where I was going to ask you this earlier. If Punk does knock him down, is there going to be any hesitation to jump on the ground? Are the instincts going to be there to get down and just pummel him for somebody who hasn't ever been in a UFC fight? Is there going to be any little bit of hesitation? Or do you think Punk is ready? If he does get him on the ground, is he going to go over the fight? Is he going to try to submit him if he gets him down? I think there might be a slight hesitation. If Punk just catches him off guard, Punk's like, whoa, wait a minute. And then he gets in.
Like that killer instinct? He doesn't have that?
I don't know. He's been fighting against the man essentially his whole life. Maybe he has it. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I don't know if he has that killer instinct just to be able to get in there. And I think, if anything, he wants to shut the people up. Just to be like, I mean, even if he loses, if they saw everything that went into him training, you do more in UFC training than WWE, right? You're just conditioning yourself. And here, when you're a WWE superstar, you're training for a scripted thing. You're just trying to keep your body in the best shape. In UFC, you're training for who you're fighting.
Right.
You're trying to plan their game plan. I'm gonna say he's gonna get that victory out of nowhere. He's gonna jump on him a little bit.
RKO out of nowhere.
You're gonna see something WWE. If anything, last thing, after he wins, what is the message to WWE? Is it a fuck you message to WWE, or does he do the respectable thing with a lawsuit going on and just not even mention UFC to put it behind his back? Because he hates talking wrestling. Every time they ask him, he's like, I'm done with that. Stop asking. I'm not a wrestler anymore. It's over. Does he just fuck WWE and not even give him the benefit of mentioning him on UFC pay-per-view?
He's going to no-sell them like crazy. Joe Rogan and Mike Goldberg will definitely mention he's WWE, because Joe Rogan is all about just getting and nitpicking with people's histories and just breaking it down. He's amazing at it. Punk he's in for it, man. That's all I could say. That's all I can say, Tubby. He's in for it. This is a fight, man.
As a loser, you think he's gonna get?
This is bigger than James Toney and Randy Couture. That's how it's bigger than that. Like it's such a wide mismatch on paper. Like, I don't really think people understand how big. Even the odds makers, Punk has talked it and made it like.
What are the odds sitting right now? Is it really lopsided towards Mickey Gall?
It's 8-1. It should be 50-1. It should be that. It's really crazy on paper, but this is why they fight, and there's mental into it, and Mickey Gall could just lean in and run into something as Punk is hitting him right on the chin, and he could just fall face first like Aldo. It really could. It's going to take some things and Mickey to just get there, but that's why they fight. That's why they fight, Tubby. But this is crazy. Like, on paper, it's crazy. A guy who's never fought, not even an amateur fight, didn't even spar boxing or didn't grow up doing amateur wrestling. It's really just, on paper, it's crazy. Like, it's unbelievable. I wonder if there was an issue with Las Vegas giving him his license, and that's why he's fighting in Ohio. I'm just throwing it out there because that's a hard guy to license. Nevada and California are very strict. Maybe that's why they had to go east.
Now that he's licensed and he's obviously doing this fight,
you think he's licensed in that state.
Do you think he's gonna get popped for anything? Anytime UFC's got a huge history of getting popped for stuff. Is there anything that CM Punk possibly, like, they look at him, they come on, there's no way he dropped that? Because where was he sitting? Wasn't he sitting at about 210 when he dropped WWE? And he's cut a good. I mean, he's the Cedric Alexander of the UFC essentially. This guy went over, for people that don't know, Cedric cut 25 pounds for the CWC. He cut that weight. Like you said, he's never done a weight cut. Is that going to affect him at all?
It may have, I think he did a test cut years ago. I think he did it before just to see if he can get to 170, because he's always said 185 and then he said 170. So I believe he tried it, got down to that weight before, and now this is his second time.
He's just going to come out. He's just going to come out firing. He's ready to go. He's
just guns blazing, and when he loses, Tubby, going out guns blazing, he's right in shape for the Cruiserweight Classic. he can just pop right in there and win that cruiserweight title on the 3rd hour of Raw. If they need him.
They bring him back. After this, if it's just such a bad knockout, is there any way UFC cuts him, or do they just keep using him? Is there somebody had said, I saw one tweet, he's going to get his ass knocked out, or even if he wins, it was rigged. He got Mickey Gall on the main stage. He's in the UFC. He gets whatever. If he gets absolutely destroyed to the point where UFC is like, oh my God, if it's under the first 30 seconds, if it's that bad, if it's like within, if it's a Ronda Rousey-esque fight from back in the day, would they cut him, or do they have too much invested in him not to at least let him go again?
Oh, no, he's going to have at least 2 fights. Probably 3. For sure. This is not his last fight. This is just the beginning of Punk in the UFC. And then he'll transition out back to pro wrestling, either Japan or in the WWE.
Really? How long is it until we see him in a WWE ring? Do you think? How long do you see the longevity of UFC going? For those people that don't know, what is the usual longevity? Like a guy that Punk comes in, obviously you don't know what he's going to go. Depends if he's winning, losing, whatever. How long do you see him staying in UFC after tonight? Ended on that. How long are we going to get to see? If you're a CM Punk fan and you're watching this and you're one of the people that, I want him to just lose so he comes back to me in wrestling. Right. How long does he not come back to wrestling, stay over there, finish up?
He's going to fight until he's not a draw anymore in the UFC. And then after that, I believe he loves fighting so much, he'll fight in little leagues if need
really?
Be. I really do. I really do think it's not all about the money. I think he enjoys fighting. However, once he gets to that point in his contract and once he's done with the UFC, he may just be done with it. And burnt down is like, I got it under my belt. I fought 3 or 4 times. It's great. I'm going to chill out for a year. Let me see where I'm at with my financials. Let me see what's going on. Do I really want to come back? It all depends on that. I really doubt he'll fight in the little leagues. He'll start and finish his career with the UFC.
All right, there it is. Same thing that, technically Brock had a fight outside. Same thing. Out of all the more people, what is his shot of being successful to transfer over? What do you any shot? And is there any slim hope? Like you said, we have no idea what this guy could do. If he comes out and looking absolutely dominant and blows people away, is there any shot they say this fight is rigged? Any shot at all for those people that, because there's some wrestling fans that have no idea.
Those people who didn't like Punk before the fight aren't going to like Punk after the fight. So those people don't really matter to him or the conversation because they're gonna find an excuse no matter what to not like Punk. So it doesn't really matter. With Punk, it's just on paper, it's the biggest mismatch in UFC history. James Toney at least was a boxing champion, a world-class heavy middleweight boxer. So, my opinion, it's closer than that. On paper, it's larger. If somebody just opened it up and looked at it, wow, why? My opinion, it's a lot closer. With the skills, it's closer. I think Punk's got something up his sleeve, if possible, but it's a 1% shot. Mickey Gall wins this fight 99 out of 100 times.
1%, that 1% shot is what is going to put him in. He's going to get that knockout. It's going to come out of nowhere. Smalls, your submission is going to shit the bed. He's not even going to get on the ground. He's not even going to be in that position.
He's got to hit a perfect shot to knock him out. He's got to be leaning in, chin out, arms down, and Punk's got to hit him right when he's turning into it and twisting. Like, it's really got to be a perfect punch. And if he falls flat on his face, you'll know it's a perfect punch. That's it. If he doesn't fall, it wasn't a perfect punch.
Oh, man. I'm excited, guys. UFC 203 tonight. You guys can follow me on Twitter at TubbyEmu. I will be checking out the fight. You can follow at SmallzTV. Small, you're actually going to be going to another fight tonight, but not UFC, right? Are you going to be able to watch the UFC fight? Is this?
Well, that's correct. Thank you for mentioning that, Tubby. I will be going to the HBO Boxing tonight, watching a world-class boxing match at the Forum in Inglewood. And after I'm done with that, I will run back home, watch the UFC 203 I'll have recorded, speed through that, and then find somewhere to give my thoughts, either back with you, Tubby, or maybe the IG show, or maybe a triple threat. It doesn't matter. Folks, make sure you watch the fight because it's going to be something to see, and stay after CM Punk's fight. That's all I'm saying. Follow me on SmallzTV. If you like what I'm saying, if you want to hear more, all about the Fight Gamers, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, the Fight Gamers. Once again, the pro wrestling, MMA, gaming, and real life news. Pretty much Fight Gamers Wrestling Show down below. We got WWE Backlash predictions, Tubby. My boy AJ Styles is grabbing that title and hoisting it over his head. I'm telling you. I'm putting it right here, right now.
Phenomenal. Styles. Oh, man. I could see Styles in UFC one day with that forearm, man. I'm just saying. Boom, he's going to forearm his way into the UFC afterwards.
He's allowed to climb out of the cage and springboard himself on top. I'd pay to see that.
That's what you're going to pay to see. All right, guys. Until next time, thank you so much to @SmallzTV. You can follow him at SmallzTV, Fight Gamers. And until next time, it's your boy Tubby Muth. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Let me know in the comment section below. How is he going to win? Let us know. Is he going to win? Is he going to lose? Is he going to get his ass kicked? Or will we see Punk go on to win gold? Oh, God, Paul. That's something that I don't think I've ever thought about. CM Punk holding gold. You're only giving him a 1% shot against Mickey Gall. I'm going to give him a 1% shot of having gold one day. We're going to have to wait and find out. Until next time, guys. Smalls, thank you so much for joining me.
I don't want to cut you off. My name is Alex with SmallzTV. I don't mean to cut you off, but what is gold was this debate, CM Punk versus Mickey Gall, the full fight debate. It was a pleasure to hang out and talk with the Rice Lake finest. This is Rice Lake's finest we're talking to right here. The Lorenzo legend. Okay, we're talking to the cameraman extraordinaire, Mr. Behind the Scenes, Eric Sandberg, aka Tubby Emu, the Bass God. Thank you for having me. Make sure you subscribe to his channel, like and share this video if you enjoyed. Fight Gamers Wrestling Show. We got to have you on, man.
I'm excited, and I like talking to somebody that actually knows their shit, and that's what Fight Gamer. Look at that hat. Look at that. That's awesome. Fight Gamer, get that on screen. That's where we're gonna end it. Fight Gamers, guys. Those of you who have always watched my shit and went, Tubby, you don't know what you're talking about. UFC. This man does. This is the man you're gonna want to follow. And I'm pointing in the wrong direction. I'm pointing right over there. Smalls, you ever been knocked out? I'm gonna edit on that. You ever been knocked out in fight? You're sparring. You ever do your thing? You knock somebody out. You KO somebody. You submit somebody. You
I've been hit where it went quiet for a minute and I had to come back. Yeah, like the video game. It's really like the video game where it just like kunk. It sounds like that, and you're hit kunk, and then it's just like quiet, and then you're back. Like that's stunned, and I've never been dropped, but that's just being stunned. I'm like, wow. But that's like when they say it cleans your clock, really, it cleans your clock. It's like it sounds like how do I put it? One of those inflatable bats hitting, or like a wiffle ball. That's what it sounds like in your head. That's what it sounds like inside when you get cracked on the jaw. Kunk. So that's that noise. You know what I'm talking about, Tubby? That wiffle ball, bat and ball.
Yeah, and I used to play wiffle ball all the time, dude. That's
the sound.
We had a whole gimmick set up. We had a field set up. We used to play wiffle ball all the time after school, dude. That was the gimmick. I'm excited. That was my gimmick. But the one thing that I cannot, I got to do it. I'm going to get up. I'm going to do the Triple H crotch chop. It's going to happen tonight. It's going to happen. And then Bobby Roode's going to come out with a glorious. That sounded so feminine right there. Just glorious.
I wish CM Punk could come out with a robe or his hoodie, but he is actually going to come out with his hoodie.
What's he going to come out with? What's he going to come out with? That was one thing we forgot to talk about.
That's it.
Is he going to use music? All right, give me 1 second. 1 second, guys. We lost Smalls a little bit. Hold on, Smalls. 1 second. We got you. We lost your little fuzzy.
Oh, yeah. Cult of personality.
All right. You think he's coming out to cult of personality?
Am I clear now?
Yeah, you're coming back in.
Oh, yeah. Okay. 100%. Cult of personality. He's dropping that. I believe it'll be a mix. It'll be not cult of personality right away. It'll be something before it, and then it'll lead to cult of personality.
Nice. The one thing that everybody was talking about trying to get himself over. Mickey Gall wanted to use the song, "Hey, Mickey, you're so fine." And UFC was like, get the fuck out of here with that.
It's too soft.
That's what they said. It's too soft. I think it's awesome. Ronda Rousey got, what's Ronda's song? Isn't it is it Girls? Like, it's the
Jonah Jetson song. It's
is that too soft? I think Mickey he knows what he's doing.
He's marketing himself. You got to associate Mickey, and the more time you hear Mickey, and if he beats Punk, he's going to have to catapult himself. Who cares? You're appealing to everybody. It's just music. It doesn't matter. All that matters is what's going on when they square off when the cage is locked. That's it. It doesn't. The music is for them. The music should not be for the audience. The music should be for the fighter to get in that mode and to get in that mindset. So I watch Mickey Gall come out with his own headphones. That's gonna be.
He's rocking he's just rocking it completely. He's got a camera guy behind, and they put out a behind the scenes video of him listening to that song. Absolutely phenomenal. Punk's going to come out tonight. UFC, guys, 203. If you guys want to watch it live on pay-per-view, you can head over to UFC. What does a pay-per-view for UFC go these days? Is it still like, what, $54 if somebody wants to watch? Something like that, $49?
$59.99.
$59.99.
Starts at 7 o'clock, I believe.
What time do you think he's going to fight? For those people that don't know, it's 9 here, 8:30. So
maybe a little early. He's the third fight, right? So 8 o'clock, 8:15 at the latest, probably.
On Western, so about my time, about 10 o'clock for those people that always ask. Because it always seems like, especially with Conor McGregor, a lot of people that bought that fight that were wrestling fans only watched that fight. They didn't watch anything else. Hopefully that doesn't backfire against UFC. And like you said, as the hometown boy, hopefully people actually stick around to watch him kick some ass, maybe lose. But until next time, guys, Smalls, thank you so much for joining me. This was a hell of a blast. I hope we do more of these, dude. Fight Gamers. I will say this. As somebody that's worked with you for a long-ass time, dude, I'm pumped to see you finally come back. I've been waiting for the resurrection, dude. You've been doing everything. You've been jumping from this to this to this. You've had your hand in so many baskets. To finally have you back, I'll be honest with you. We used to do the triple threat. We used to do so much stuff together. Do you have a YouTube channel that people can go check you out? Is Fight Gamers your big thing you're doing right now?
For everything Smalls is now Fight Gamers. We're building something big. It's going to be great. I have a feeling we'll be talking and see each other sooner than you think, Tubby, because Fight Gamers, it's going down for real. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Remember that song from WrestleMania? Remember that? No?
Yeah. I'll wait till you get bought out by one of the big media guys. You're going to be the next Bill Simmons. You're going to get bought out. They're eventually going to think everything that you say is too much. You're going to get fired from your own website. You're going to start something new. That's what you do, Smalls. You do something, and then you do something better. You step it up. You're the Brian Scalabrine.
Wow. We got a lot of catching up to do.
We do.
Speaking of Brian Scalabrine, definitely going to have to talk and chop it up. And you're definitely going to have to come on the podcast. Tubby, Emu, great guy. WWE 2K17, it's going down on my channel and his channel. Once again, it's UFC 203. Tubby, you got anything else? This is your show.
No, that's it. That's it. I'm done. I've let this run on so long because I don't want to let it go. Just like I don't think people want to let go of the thought of CM Punk going into UFC. I think there's going to be a lot of dash dreams either way tonight. You're either going to get the people that are pissed if you're a WWE fan, like, he actually won. If he loses, fuck him. That's just where it is. I'm going to end it on that note. I'm going to say CM Punk, you got to do it. Do it. Knock him out. Send those little kids that bitched and moaned at you. Give them that crotch job. Until next time, guys, my name's Tubby at SmallzTV, and we'll see you guys later.